Welcome back to this third tutorial on working with document-based database for unstructured data. So in this tutorial, we are going to look at the second section of our CRUD operations. So in the first section, we look at how to create document-based databases. And then in this section, we're going to look at how to read them, or relatively. In most cases, when you are retrieving this data, you will have to find a way of reading them. So that is the essence of this tutorial that we want to look at. And the first thing, so let me just highlight that here. So read operations. Okay. So we now have got a database containing a collection by the name of dogs. Now, if we want to find a particular information about or a particular record from that collection, then we have to use a series of operations. And the first function that allows us to do that is the find operation. So if you want to find a database called, so we had a collection known as clubs. So if you want to make or find information about a certain club, then we have to use the operation find. So we call the name of the database, which is clubs, and then we do dot find. So this operation will only return the first club in our database, and as you can tell, the first club was Arsenal Football Club. So let's run it and see what comes up. So you can see it returns all the football clubs. So that is, if you do find, it basically return all the football clubs. But what if I want to return the first or the only, I want to return just a single club? You can use dot find one function. So I just have the name of the collection, which is clubs, and then I do find one, and then this one will simply return one club. But the problem is it's just going to return the first club. By the way, when you're writing this function, it's always good practice to have semicolon at the end. It might not fail, but in some points it might start failing. So if I do find one, it's going to return a single club from my collection. So as you can see, it's returning the first club, which is Arsenal, in my collection. But what if I don't want to return the first one? I want to return a specific one, because we know from our data set we have got three clubs. We have got Arsenal, we have got Manchester City, and then we have got Liverpool. So what if I want to return Liverpool Football Club? Then for me to do that, I have to use a series of clauses to specify that. So if you are familiar with the structured query language or relational databases, or if you have done this in Python, then it will be something. Let me just write an equivalent of that. In Python will be select everything. So start to mean everything from the name of my collection, or if it's in the case of relational database, is the name of your table. So my table will be clubs, and then the clause will be where the name of the club is equal to. So this one kind of gives you the intuitive on how to do it. Liverpool Football Club. So if it was an SQL or structured query language, or in Python, I know for sure Python has got a library that allows you to do SQL operation called SQLite. So that will allow you to do this. So if this was in an SQL environment, or if for those who are working with JS data, if you are in a Postgres environment, then this would be the ideal condition to allow you to select Liverpool Football Club from that data set. So basically we are telling it that from my document or from my table called clubs, go to a column name and only select the records where the name is equivalent to football, Liverpool Football Club, and that will only return values for Liverpool. But how do we do that in a NoSQL language environment such as MongoDB? So to do that, we're gonna use DB, which is the name, stands for the database, and then the collection name, which is clubs, and then we simply do find and normal brackets, and then we do curly brackets, and then we specify the field name. So the field name is basically name, as you can tell. We use name here, and then the value. So the value will be Liverpool Football Club. It has to be exactly like that, and that should return for us only the values for Liverpool. So if we do that and run it, you can see it's returning the values for Liverpool. So that is how you return for a specific file. So what if you can see that it's returning everything else, not just the name, but returning everything about that record? What if we only want to return the name alone? And yeah, what if we just want to return the name? So to do that, we can suppress that part by including an argument here, and then just simply say name and assign it 1 to mean that it's true, and then that's all. So if we do that and run it, it's simply going to return the name and the ID. But what if we don't want even this ID? We just want to return the name. Maybe you want to read through all the collection and only return name for further analysis. Then we can suppress the ID, since we know that the name of that field is underscore ID. Then we can suppress it by telling it to be 0. So means don't return that ID. When we run that, we're gonna have only the name of the football club, which is this case Liverpool. So that is how you return a single value from a particular specified column. But you notice that we also had a case where we have got a nested field. For example, we have got the trophies, and under trophies we have got PL, we have got FA, we have got league. So how do we go about that? How do we go about working with that kind of data set? So what if you want to return the field? So we want to return a case whereby the data set or the name of the club, we want to see a club that has got only 8 FA trophies, and that will be Liverpool. Or we want to see a club that has 8 League Cups. How do we do that? Because we notice that League Cup is a subfield under a field called trophies. So basically, how do we access subfields? So to do that, it's very simple. If this was in a, let me just use an illustration for a relational database like SQL. That would be select everything from the name of the table, which would be clubs. So clubs table in SQL, it's table, but here it's called collection. So select everything from collection where, and of course, if this was an SQL, there's no way you're going to have this on your SQL table. So this would have been to be a different field. So it would have been trophies, then league, cup, Then you simply say league cup equal to let's say 2, which I think it's Arsenal. So Arsenal has got 2 league cups. So that will be a statement, an SQL statement if you are using this, if you're running it on SQL. But in this case, now how do we do it in MongoDB? So it's straightforward. The way you do it is, first of all, just specify database and then the collection name. And then the next thing we do, find. And then opening and closing bracket. And then the first, we have got the square brackets. And then specify. The first thing is to do with the field name. So it's going to be trophies. So that's going to be trophies. And then we do dot league cup. So we have specified that. And then the next thing we do is specify the full colon. And then simply say that you wanna interested in where league cup is 9. And that's all. So as you can tell, this is going to return Liverpool because it's only Liverpool that has got 9 league cups. So if we run that, it's returning Liverpool. But what if we specify where league cup is equal to 0? So let's see if there's a club that has got 0 league cups in our data set. There's none, so it is returning nothing. So you also realize, let's try where league cup is 2. Again, it's returning Arsenal because Arsenal has got 2 league cups, as you can see. But what if we are not interested in the rest of the information? We just want to return the name of the club. So again, to do that, it's very straightforward. We just have to suppress the remaining part by using these curly brackets and then say let the name value to be assigned 1. In other words, return that. Return 1. But so if we do that, it's going to return the name and the ID only. So you can see it's returning the name and the ID. If I don't want the ID to appear, it's very simple as we did previously, underscore ID, and suppress that to 0. Then run this. It should just return the name of the football club that has got 0, that has got 2 league cups. So that's fairly easy. We have accessed that. So that is basically how you can access some or read some of your data set for an example like this. The next step that I want us to do is to create a new set of data or a new collection. And this collection is going to be a collection containing countries. As you can remember, it's very straightforward. Use DB and then the name of your collection. So my proposed name of collection is countries. And then I'm gonna insert many. I don't want to do it once, one by one. So I'm gonna insert many, have them like that. And I'm gonna have 3 countries, so 3 curly brackets to signify that I'm gonna have 3 countries. Good. So once I have this, so you notice that automatically MongoDB assigns an ID. So if you look at our clubs document, 3 documents, you can see these are the IDs, or if I open it, you can see it has automatically generated an ID for Arsenal, same for Manchester City, same for Liverpool. But what if I don't want it to have automatic IDs? I want to have customized ID. So for example, one of the IDs for identifying countries to make that each country is unique to each other, especially when you're handling global data sets, is what they normally call the International Standard Organization Code, or ISO code, and it's always 3-lettered word. So for each country has got a unique ISO, and that kind of uniquely identifies a country in the global scale. So that is what I want us to do. Instead of having the automatic ID, I want us to replace that with the ISO code, so that each of our countries has got a unique identifier rather than a randomly generated ID from the computer. So to do that, let's specify the ID. So we are suppressing the computer one and specifying ours. So let's have 3 countries. I'll start with Kenya, which is ISO ID is KEN, and then the name is gonna be Kenya, and then the population can have information about the population. That will be the latest population by World Bank is 51,526,000, and I'll have a column known for. So obviously Kenya is known for athletics. Did a comma here. Kenya is known for athletics. It's known for tourism, especially safari drives, and of course some element of African music, Afrobeat. That is the first country. The second country would be ID. I'll go for a country in West Africa. That will be Nigeria, of course. So the ISO code for Nigeria is NGA. Name. And Nigeria. Population. I think it's the most populated African country at around 230. 842. These ones I'm getting from Wikipedia. 743. And then Nigeria is known for, my good Nigerian friends, you can tell me what you are known for, but for sure I know that you are known for Afrobeat, and thank you guys for putting us at the world map. Of course, they are known for good food, and I think they are also known for football, even though my Ghanaian friends will say no, we are the ones known for football. I deliberately omitted Jollof here because that's a story for another day. The next country, I will go for a country in North Africa, and that will be Egypt. So Egypt name, Egypt. Population will be, of course, the population of Egypt is around 110 million. Want to confirm? Yep. And Egypt is known for tourism. Pyramids of Egypt, one of the biggest tourist attractions. We have got, they're known for football. That's the home of Salah. And they're known for I think food, good food. And why not have the last country? Let me have the last country, which is also one of my favorite country. That will be Congo. So the ISO for Congo is COD. And then the name will be Democratic Republic Congo. Population. Let me just quickly Google that. DRC. It's at 111. 111, 859, 928, 928. Known for Congolese, of course. They produce one of the Africa's greatest musicians. So Afrobeat. They are known for fashion, one of the smartly dressed people in the world. And let me just make sure the tourism, this one is corrected. There's nothing, you can never talk about Congo if you don't talk about natural resources. So now I have got a collection containing 4 countries. Each of these countries have got certain attributes, and we have deliberately chosen to have an ID of our choosing. In this case, is the country's ISO. So let's run and see if this is created. So yes, we have got our ID here, and our collection has been created with 4 countries: Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, and Congo. I think we can refresh this and see. Let me refresh this. Yep. So here we go. So that is Kenya, Nigeria, Egypt, Congo. Good stuff. Okay. So now that we have done this, let's now start performing basic operations on this data set. So first of all, let's assume that we want to carry out a read operation for multiple conditions. How do we go about it? So let's switch into that and see how we can do that. So the first thing I want us to do is find a country that is known for Afrobeat and known for good food. So how do we do that? So for us to do that, we have to use an AND function or an AND operator. So it's a condition. So if you are to do that in a typical Excel, or if you are to do that in a traditionally SQL operation, then we will have to include AND function somewhere. So to do that here, let's see how we can go about it. So to do that, we can just say database name. So if you remember, the collection name of our document in the database is countries. So do countries, and when we do find, then opening bracket, and then we have our condition. In that our condition, we're gonna use end. So we are interested in a country. So the end is the condition here, just like Python. And then we have got square bracket to have multiple conditions. So we want a country that is both famous for tourism and good food. So that should return only Egypt, because it's only Egypt that is best for tourism and food. Unfortunately, Kenya is not known for good food. So it's known for, that is our condition. So the first thing is, let's have curly brackets for the first condition, which is known for. And this is the good thing about VS Code, it automatically completes your code. So we want tourism. And then the second condition, that country must also be famous for or known for good food. So I'm expecting this to return Egypt, because it's only Egypt that is known for tourism and good food. Kenya's got tourism but not good food. Nigeria's got food but not tourism. So let's run this and see what comes up. So you can see it's returning Egypt, and it's returning everything about Egypt. What if we are only interested in the name? So we can suppress the other by just including this second condition, or let's suppress ID 0 and then return the name 1 and famous for or known for. We also want to return that because we need a square column comma there. So that should only return what is known for and the country name, and ignore the other information. So this in SQL, for purpose of clarity, will be select name and famous or known for from your collection of the table name countries where known for equal to tourism and food. So that will be this query for that, if you are to do that in SQL. So that is to do with that. I want us to look at how you can also use wildcards. So wildcards are interesting if you have got a little bit of a programming language or any programming language. Wildcards allows you to input just a section of something, and then you can use that to do multiple searches, or use it to obtain information about the rest of the file name or whatever you are interested in. So in this case, I want us to use a wildcard where the country has got the country's name contain E or contain Y, and then let me think. So I want us to look at return all the name or all the countries, the name of the countries that has got T in their country name, and also is known for Afrobeat. So it has to have, the country name has to have T, and then the country has to be known for Afrobeat. So as you can imagine, that will be Democratic Republic of Congo, because we have got T in Democratic, and we have got Afrobeat that the country is known for. So let's try that. So it's gonna be db.countries.find, opening and closing bracket, and then we're gonna use those square brackets to have our condition, and then use end, because it's a condition, both the conditions has to be met. Then you have to have this. The first condition is to ensure that the name contains, so we use this forward slashes. So it has to contain T, comma, and then the second condition, the country has to be known for or contain something to do with beats. And that, as we project, it should return Democratic Republic of Congo. And it exactly does that. So Democratic Republic of Congo has got T in its spelling and bit in its wording. So what if we just want a country that either its name has got T and also, or maybe it is known for Afrobeat. So either way, if the country has got T, please return it. If the country is known for beat, please return it too. So as you can imagine, this is going to return everything, because the first thing is Kenya. Kenya doesn't have got T in its name, but it's known for Afrobeat, so that's gonna come back. Nigeria doesn't have got T in its name, but it's known for Afrobeat too. Egypt is not known for Afrobeat, but it has got T in its name. Democratic Republic of Congo meets all the criteria. It has got T in its name, but it also has got Afrobeat. Let's try something that will not return everything. Instead of beat, let's use food and see which ones comes back. So if we do that, and it's either, so we don't use and, we just use or. So let's do that and see what comes back. So you can see it returns Nigeria, Egypt. I don't want it to return everything, so let's suppress the rest of the stuff. So I'm gonna suppress, maybe I should just, I should only return the name, the ID, which is the ISO code, instead of the name, and then return, this one should be 1, sorry. I just want to return the ISO code, because this is the standard way of doing global assessments. And then known for also 1. So let me run it and see which countries are these that are known for, that has got T in their name and are known for good food. Yes, so you can see Nigeria, known for Afrobeat food and football. Egypt has got T in its name, known for tourism, football, and food. And then Congo has got T in the Democratic, has known for Afrobeat fashion and natural resources. So that helps us now to select countries based on some conditions and using wildcard. So for wildcards, you use these two forward slashes. The last thing I want us to do is to perform a logical function. So in this case, assuming that we want to return countries, or we want to query countries that are having a population that is over 100 million. So how do we do that? It's very straightforward. First of all, specify db countries and use find normal brackets. And then the next thing is, let's have the condition inside it. So we want we want a country. Let me look for a word that is in all countries. That would be, I think, E. E is in democratic, it's in Egypt, it's in Nigeria, it's in Kenya. So let's use E. So I'm gonna do and to have square bracket, and then the first condition is the name must have letter E. So /E. So that is the first condition. The second condition would be population has to be greater than 100 million. So it's very simple to do that. You just add another condition here, and you use the logic function lt gt to mean greater than. So gt will basically look at all the countries that their population is greater than the value that you are going to specify here. So it's going to be 100 million. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when I do that and run it, I'm expecting it to look at all the countries that have population greater than 1 million. So automatically, Democratic Republic of Congo and Nigeria, they're gonna qualify, but not Egypt and Kenya. So let's run that. Yes, so you can see it's returning Nigeria and Congo because those are the only two countries that has a population over 100 million. Remember, Egypt is exactly 110 million, but it is not returned. That's strange. Let me see. I think it has to do with the letter. So let's do a way. Let me try to change this to small e. Run this. And then run the command to just confirm if it's case sensitive. So that doesn't work. Okay, so it tells me that there's a duplicate key error, so it means we have to redo everything. So let's not get into that, but for now, let's run this and see what comes back. Okay, so before we proceed, I want us to look at a country that also starts with or has got E in its letter, but has got a population less than 100 million. So as you can guess, it's very straightforward. Let's just copy this and run. So instead of GT, you use LT to mean less than, and that I think should only return Kenya. Yes, so you can see it's returning Kenya because Kenya has got E in its name and the population is less than 100 million. So that is basic read operations in MongoDB. In the next section, we're going to look at update functions or update operations in MongoDB. Thanks again for your attention. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give it a like or a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not subscribed. Share the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Until next time, bye-bye.